What's up guys, welcome back to another episode, to another visual novel. May I take your order? So you're a waiter who is serving a couple with, let's say, some strange tastes. What it means by strange tastes, I'm guessing looking at the imagery, we've kind of got an idea. But let's take a look. Alright, I've been filling out a few applications today, and this is the last one. I've been applying to work at restaurants all over. It might not seem glamorous, but I want to see how different places are run. Really just want to jump from job to job just to see how each restaurant is run. It's a bit... I don't know, I personally wouldn't do that. If I want to open my... Oh, okay, fair enough. I understand. If I want to open my own restaurant someday, it's critical to see what does and doesn't work. Fair enough. I jumped the gun a bit. A friend told me I should save my top pick for last, and I should really kick him for that. My hand's about to fall off. It's a pretty ritzy establishment, but comfortable. Fancy, but not overpriced. Important clientele, but still kind and inclusive. If you can't make connections here, you're dead. Literally? Financially speaking. Okay, fair enough. Again, I jumped the gun. And the food, remarkable. I've never heard of anyone ever having a bad meal there. I gotta know how they accomplish so much. So I try not to be too nervous and fill this out like it's any other application. I guess if you really want that job, you do get really nervous and you put your heart and soul into it. Only if them turn around and say no, or not even bother replying back to you. That really irks me, because I understand if you have lots of applications, but you could just do a generic email saying, sorry you weren't successful this time. My first name is, I know it says first name, but I'm always going to do a second name. Leave a tip. There we go, leave a tip. I fill in my address and try not to despair over my handwriting. Yeah, it's a bit, especially if you're going to be writing out your orders and then you've got to give that to the kitchen. I mean, I can't read that elvish handwriting. Before getting to the personal section, gender is, I don't know, his name, I say his name, automatically I've just said his name is Lee, but you can get men and women called Lee, or non-binary people called Lee. I'm just gonna go with a man because I automatically said he. And I finished filling out the form. I cap the pen and lean back in my chair. Man, it's nice to be done. ... Well, except for heading outside and turning them all in. One at a time. So you go into each restaurant, or you're just going to post them? ... Ugh, I better get to it. Ooh, it does look rather fancy, doesn't it? 2 weeks later, and I'm waist deep in my first Saturday shift at the restaurant. Which restaurant? You applied for how many? I want to know which one. Busy doesn't even begin to describe it. After 7 hours of the weekend rush, I'm ready to go home. Is that me? I stop off at table 6 and go through the motions. I like the fact it doesn't say my name, it's just me. Thank you for dining with us, sir. My name is... I actually forgot I put that as your name. My name is Leave a Tip and I'll be your server this evening. I kind of wish I did a normal name now rather than taking the P, because I can't take that seriously now. He smiles at me. Oh no, that's not us, that's the diner. Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Leave a Tip. Have you dined with us before, sir? Yes, indeed, I'm quite happy to be back. Just you this evening, sir? No, my girlfriend will be here shortly. I'll just have a cup of coffee while I wait for her. I'll go get that for you right away then. No rush. I don't know why I've suddenly gone posh. I think it's because I'm now in this establishment, so my character is like, I must be posh. I really like the artwork of it. You've kind of got this really, it feels very, in my opinion, I could see this on someone's wall as a work of art. And then you've kind of got the very anime kind of style to that character. I know it's not quite anime like when you compare to Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon with the big eyes and things like that, but it kind of has more of a cartoony essence about it in comparison to the backdrop. And I really like that comparison, I really like how different they are. It really makes the character pop from the environment. Countless families and couples have come and gone today, but for the past hour, that one guy's been clogging up table 6. Are you doing all right, sir? Oh, he looks really fed up. Has his girlfriend stood him up? He checks his watch again. Yes, I mistook the time. She'll be here any second. No, he's getting quite awkward, so like he's having to do that to kind of, in my opinion, play with something to kind of get his mind off of how nervous he is. I kind of like that. He's been saying that for the past 45 minutes, obviously quite embarrassed. I tell him to pack it up and leave, but he doesn't have the look I'd expect of someone in his position. There's anxiety, but only a little bit, and there's no disappointment. He looks almost kind of foxish. Like he's kind of got like the fox eyes and the colour of his hair. It just, I don't know, and how it looks suddenly disheveled. I kind of get a foxy feel from him, I don't know why. Not a shred of doubt in his eyes. He really thinks... Excuse me. He looks up at me. It seems he's come to some sort of decision. Thank good, but this is a restaurant with crayons, correct? Yes sir, we have those for kids. I mean, I get the impression, just looking outside now, isn't really the time for the majority of kids to be here. It looks rather dark, like it's their bedtime. Yes sir, we have those for kids. Excellent. A sting of ferocity enters his eyes, one that doesn't quite pair naturally with crayons. One please, and red if you've got it. Where's he going with this? Yeah, sure. I'm not about to argue with the customer, so I head to the front. It's not exactly usual, but the guy has been sitting here for half an hour with no phone. Well, maybe she's had an accident, she can't call him because he's not got his phone. I'm caught between pity and irritation and hope for the umpteenth time. I like that word. You don't see that often. That he has enough empathy to tip well on the single cup of coffee he's been nursing. There's a small tin with several crayons. We try to keep fresh ones ready. I grab. He asked for red. I really want to go for blue just to pee him off, but I don't see the point in aggravating this character when quite clearly he's alone. I snatch up a red crayon, no sense being mean to him. He may be weird, but he's probably having a bad night too. Exactly. I bring the crayon back over to him and hand it over. Thank you, Mr. Lever Tip. At least he tipped me very well for that coffee. See, I knew that name would come in handy. It's no big deal. Hey, are you okay? I saw you don't have a cell phone, but we could call your girlfriend and... That really made me jump. I didn't like that. No warning, no nothing. He knocks everything off the table and climbs right on. I really liked how everything just... I can really visualize it after I read it, how he just shattered everything across, and you know, they've got this really imposing dark music. I really like that. It's just a very change of dynamic. Sir, please get down. That's frickin' weird. I should have given him the blue frickin' crayon. His deft hand scrawls a wide circle, then another, then sections off areas, slicing as though the crayon were a knife. He fills it with symbols. They look almost zodiac signs. Really, I don't see that, if I'm honest with you. Homo sum humani ami nihil alium puto. What? It's like I stood up too fast. There's a rushing to my head. Why have you stood up? Why are you on the floor to begin with? There's a pressure like my ears are going to pop, ring, pop. Oh, I like that. I really like that. I like how the screen is cracked. That is suddenly giving me chills. I love it. I know it's so simple, but it's so atmospheric. Oh, again. Ooh, what the frick's happened? Ah! The tablecloth represents a spray of sweet-smelling fluid. What is this guy doing? I leap away from the table as something bursts out. What the frick is that? Nah. This is where I'd be clocking out. This is someone else's problem now, not mine. Wet, spiked appendages are flailing all over, slapping and sneaking their way over the windows and doors. It's like it's almost trapping people, or I don't know if there's any other customers in here by now, but I'm guessing trapping us in. They're fleshy but soft, too soft, and they mush and disfigure as they slam against everything inside. I can really see, I can hear it as well. One smacks the hat off another diner, who continues to eat her meal. Is she that freaking oblivious? Unfazed. I love that is its own sentence. Nobody is screaming. No one sees this happening. And nobody notices me on the ground. Arms raised to protect my face and throat too tight to scream again. But that's okay, is it? The thing is screaming enough for the entire restaurant. It's letting out a dual-tone screech, high and low, but I can't discern one throat, let alone two. That's really, I love how they've described that. I can really hear it. I like that. I'm going to use something like that for my own writing. Crayon thrown to the floor, the stood up guy and worst diner ever starts to call out at it. Is this his girlfriend? Sweetie! For goodness sake, put your body on. We're in a nice restaurant. It screeches and roars back at him. I know, but he waves a bundle of cloth at it. I brought you some clothing and it's super comfy. It slurps up the bundle of fabric and the creature bubbles and draws back in on itself, twisting until... Until what? Oh, why, you're looking lovely tonight, my dear. I emerge. You're here. You had me worried, so I figured I'd help break the barrier down a bit. Taliporia? Is that how it's pronounced? Is that her name? I don't know. You have no idea how good it is to see you. When he says that word, my ears finally pop and my teeth grit. It's a bad word. It's not a curse word per se, not so much a word you wouldn't say in front of your boss. It feels like the wrong answer in a classroom or meeting. Okay, so it's a very awkward, uncomfortable feeling. That moment everyone turns and looks at you and you just want to sink through the floor. Yeah. I think we've all been there at some point. I just want to sink through the floor. I want to very quietly go get my coat and change my name and move to whatever town is on the exact opposite point on the globe from where I'm currently standing. Yeah, you informed me that the barrier was to be frail in this portion of your world. I want to know how he met her. I will hold you responsible for the trouble. I get the impression, I know she's shouting, but I get a very grand presence about her. Like, she takes no crap from anyone kind of thing. He's beaming at the thing that came out of the hole, but I can't look at it. It hurts to roll my eyeballs toward it, like I'm dehydrated. Okay, so a very strained feeling. When I close my eyes, the dark behind my eyelids is so cool and so soft. Huh? There are tears running down my cheeks. I hadn't noticed. The guy. Hendrik? Where's Hendrik come from? Beams and gestures toward the gaggle of eyes and Puffy. Where's the name Hendrik come from? Did she say Hendrik? I don't remember anyone being referred to as Hendrik. This is my girlfriend. Talaporia, impudent microbe. I may choose to craft for myself the form of a creator, a birthing one, but I'm capable of far greater creations than your prepubescent females. Okay, darling. And far more erogenously, your inflated ego thinks I would deign to refer to you as any form of companion. Her words wash over him like a gentle breeze. It looks like she could rip his face off, but her roars just make his eyes brim with joy. Really? Okay. We've been dating for about 400 years now, really? But you look mortal. And though the long distance thing is an easy bit of an annoyance, we make it work. The moment I finally devise an effective method of accomplishing your demise, I'll rip your soul from your ever regenerating body and chew it to a gruel. Okay, so I kind of get the impression he's got like a hold over her in some way, shape or form. He sits down at the all but destroy table and picks up his menu. But until that beautiful day when I can be with you forever, you're going to need to eat something else. I get very much he's a captor and she's the captive kind of thing. You know, she doesn't have much of a choice in this. She quite evidently is fed up with him and he's just so obliviously in love with her. He doesn't seem to grasp how she feels. Maybe that's their relationship, I don't know. Talaporia stops. She looks at me and a bounce between eyes, trying to make contact with one that doesn't stare down into my deepest inadequacies. There is human fuel here? I nod. My mouth breaks open into a smile. Really? Excellent, you are spared from punishment, Hendrik, if only for the moment. She sits down, but not on a chair. Does she, like, have does she produce her tendrils into, like, a throne? Dozens of her... Yeah, okay. Dozens of her tentacles are still present throughout the entire room, spikes driven deep into the surfaces, blocking all the exits. Exactly what I thought. She settles into one of the squishy appendages, looking pleased. Okay, I do find I'm guessing quite a bit of this at the moment. I know they're just very simple things, but at the moment it's a little bit predictable. So, then maybe we should order an appetizer. It's not that I can't believe that this is happening. Really? You can't believe this? I think I've been drugged or something. I have an open mind. Really? Have an open mind to this freaking deity monster thing coming out of the table. Right. Okay. As far as sudden supernatural shifts to my life, I was really hoping for wizard school. Alright, Harry frickin' Potter. Or just a plain old haunting. Some ghosts are pretty cool, right? I wouldn't be opposed to a haunting. At least with a zombie or something, I'd know the rules here. What are the rules of this thing? Exactly. Okay. Yes, I get where you're coming from. Do I throw rice on the ground to stop? No, it's salt. You need salt. Just throw some frickin' salt at her. Will she attack me if I touch her with iron? I'd listen to my gut, but I can't make out anything but general foreboding. Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of get that, especially with like the green hue to the environment is very foreboding. Demon, you summon demons, so that fits. But I don't know, something doesn't seem quite right about that. Maybe she's I kind of get an alien vibe from her. Excuse me? Oh, I can barely think, but I can at least fall back on one set of rules. I struggle to start out the rote reply. Would you like to start off with a soup or salad tonight? The man grins and gives an eager nod. What, you want both? Could I please get the blue cheese salad? And my sweetie. The Talaporia, not Talaporia, but the Talaporia. Rolls her eyes and her teeth flash as she cuts in. Hendrik! I've been enough of these sham dates to know that ordering for your companion is rude. Yes, it is. I'd be kind of peed off if my husband's like, my wife will have that. I'll be like, no. I choose my starter. You pee off and choose your own. His face falls. But it's been ages since you've eaten any food. You're chewing on the fork right now. Leave her to chew on the fork. If she wants to chew the fork, she can chew the fork. She gives him a glare and slowly places the slightly bent cutlery back down on the table. Fine. But before he can say another word, she makes a move. I don't want your advice, though. I want the young human to choose. Okay, fair enough. I like that. Oh no. He sighs, annoyed, but he checks himself for looking at me. I think he knows that she's putting me on the spot. I can appreciate that he's trying to look out for me. I mean, I'd appreciate it more if you could have not summoned some kind of eldritch thing during an already busy Saturday shift. It's alright, you're only serving these two. I mean, what happened to our character's body in real life? Has it actually disappeared, or have we passed out on the floor somewhere? Or at all? I ease my throat open enough to squeak out. Okay, so we got... Hang on, you said salad and soup. Is the lamb chili a kind of like a soup thing? I mean, if she's having... If Hendrik needs to ease her back into eating, surely like a soup or something would be better to start with to kind of get her used to swallowing and all that. I don't know. So I'm going to eliminate the salad. I mean, I love chili food. Minus the lamb. But I get the impression she's very much a ravenous meat eater, so we'll go for the lamb chili. This doesn't seem to mean much of anything to her. Great. And what would you like for your entree? She slams a fist down on the table. My stomach lurches. First, bring me the matter. This physical form requires fuel to sustain itself. I turn on my heel and fly out of there. An excuse to leave. So, is the kitchen staff also in this realm, or are we having to cook as well? Or is it sort of like already like in like a soup hot pot thing? You know, like a war. I can't think of what it's called. You know, where it's already warm and all that stuff, and you just get a ladle, and I don't know, you get what I mean. If there are any kindly extra-dimensional beings looking down on me right now, I would like to take this opportunity to thank them. I rush into the kitchen. Oh, we're going into the kitchen. Back in the kitchen, everyone's still bustling about. Other servers are calling in their orders. The ambitious cooks are working. I mean, I can't really see any of this happening, but the slightly less ambitious cooks are cracking jokes with each other. They're as oblivious as the customers out front. I can see my manager discussing some menu changes with the head chef. Hey, does anyone else see what's going on out there? But nobody turns to look at me. Hey, I'm serious. What the hell is going on? Are they ignoring me? Do you expect me to just come back here and bring in this order like nothing's wrong? I take a sarcastic tone. Yeah, we got a blue cheese and a chili for table 6, just another usual night, right? That warning, a tray with the order is put down on the counter next to me. But other than that, there's no hint of a glance, no guilty looks. That's really... I'm curious to know how that's happened. Like, I don't understand if they're not acknowledging our character. Is our character actually still there then, and they're kind of just hearing them in the background and giving them... I don't quite understand that, but maybe it'll get explained, maybe it won't. Hey! Nobody even flinches. ... Fine. Looks like I'm on my own. And did I tell you how lovely our eyes are this evening? Are you looking at that lovely pair, or are you looking at her face? From your ever effusive sewer pipe of compliments springs something worthwhile. I like how this character talks. She's very wordy. She likes to use very elaborate words. But I do find sometimes with this font, it can be a little difficult to decipher a couple of the letters. But that's just maybe my wafty eyes. I made most of them myself. What, you made your eyes? But the eye in the center of my head was my reference object. Which one? You got 3 in the center of your frickin' head. I couldn't even tell the difference. Your anatomy has gotten so much better since the last decade. It is easier when I have a fresh supply of study materials, so I suppose I can remain here long enough to consume some matter. Let no sentient being claim that I do not repay my debts. What debts? Oh, that's just one of the perks of the what job? What job? What job? Teachers can bring home knowledge. Cooks can bring home food. And surgeons can bring spare body parts back to their girlfriends. Okay, I'm getting a very much a, I don't know the doctor's name, I can't think of it, but the doctor and then Frankenstein. I can say with relative certainty that that isn't how it works. If I ever find out this man's last name, I am never going to his hospital. No, I don't frickin' blame you. I served Teleporia her chili, trying not to get too close. Please be careful, it's very hot. Remember, sweetie, that too much heat can injure... Silence, meat garden. I love that word, meat garden. I know what to do with volatile heat sauces. Maybe I shouldn't have got the chili for her. She flings the scalding liquid across the table. It hits Hendrik square in the chest. Okay. Ah! And he runs off. He rushes out to the bathroom, face red from pain. We don't serve our soups at a heat that could do permanent damage, but it still has to hurt. She closes most of her eyes and howls a deep breath. Satisfied. When she speaks again, her rough voice has a tranquil tone. Clean it up, human. This is an establishment with standards, is it not? But you just frickin' done that. It's like when you've got children, you kind of... out of respect, you clean up after yourself. Now, this is meant to be like a grown 400-something-year-old woman, potentially. Well, I say woman, whatever she is. And she can't clean up her own frickin' mess. Well, it was, I mutter. The elegant charm might be a bit altered by the sudden presence of giant tentacles. She snuggles down into her seat. This is a gift for your owners. This is a sliver of my true form. Wow. It's... lovely. Sorry that you didn't like the chili. Apology unnecessary, human. I enjoyed that immensely. Really? You just threw it at him. What is that? What, you're just going to throw food at this? meat garden. She sniffs the air, and it smells nice as well. She dabs a little of the meat on her neck. It's not cologne, darling. You're meant to eat it, not slather your neck in it. This body has concentrated blood flow around the throat and wrists. These pulse points heat and disperse stray molecules of matter, allowing humans to perceive them with their noses. She seems quite pleased with this luxury. She wraps a scarf around herself. Now that I think about it, the clothing Hendrik bought for her is all very heavy. I mean, yeah, it does look a bit like it's weighing her down. A maxi skirt, a thick sweater, and a blanket scarf. The way you're clutching that scarf, You may not have my scarf. It retains my heat. I will continue to generate and retain heat, and it will belong to me, not you. I don't want your fricking heat. I take a step back. No, that's all your heat, fair and square? She growls. Happily? Yes, all mine. Hendrik will be procuring more matter this evening, which will continue to power this form. Where is this game going? I have no idea. Physical exertion is a luxury. The caloric energy necessary to move, but a digit... She lifts one of her own claws. It's precious. I have gone for thousands of years, lying in wait for foolish summoners to tear open wrists and let in the good heat from your world. So how old are you? Talaporia leans down on the table. The edges of the scarf trail into her chili. Lovely. Or at least what's left of it. Is it selfish to be happy that she's disarmed now? I look at the still present tentacles and recalculate that statement. She at least cannot harm me with soup, no. And that's something. So, human... How do you enjoy generating your own heat? What? What a freaking question. It's good. I'd rather just turn on the heater though. It's not great really. Have you ever gotten sweaty? I like it. Physical activity is fun. I mean, if this is me, I like being warm because I'm old. I'm a very, very cold person. I like physical activity. But if I don't have time for physical activity, the heater is just as good. I'm gonna go for the heater one. When it gets cold, I can't bring myself to do much of anything, so I'll just turn up the thermostat. She slams her hand down. No, this is unacceptable. Lazy, lazy human. In the void, there is no heat. There are no suns of which to leech, like some creature that lives off the blood of another. I don't think she knows that the verb correlates to an actual animal. You need to be more grateful. And Hendrik returns. Getting along well as might be expected. Still, thank you for keeping her company. We'll eat our appetizers and... She shakes her head. I'm finished with mine. He laughs. Of course, how could I forget? So then, would you like to move on to the main course now? What about the entrees? What happened with the entrees? The next part of the meal? Ah, yes, with the larger portions. Oh, I like that. I want a larger portion. Hendrik points to her menu. So what were you thinking about? I always like steak, but I admit that I was kind of thinking about splurging on the... Hey, I've not told you my name. How do you know my name? Human, leave a tip. I snap to attention. Yes, ma'am. Choose. Do it promptly and wisely, or else I will need to consume something else for my main course. She's staring me right in the eyes, and her gaze lingers on my mouth. She stares at my teeth and licks her lips. Could she eat my... It's not going to be very filling, I'm afraid. But I think you would enjoy... We have a beautiful porterhouse steak. We have live lobster here. I recommend the squid ink pasta. I mean, I wouldn't have any of that. I feel like I should go for the squid ink because of the tentacles, and I feel there would be some part of your subconscious that would automatically go for that. So I'm going to go for the pasta. The chef's special today is a fresh spaghetti with squid ink and Cajun shrimp. Oh, Cajun! If you like Cajun halloumi, you can thank me later. She sighs. Squids. I have a special place in my heart for cephalopods. Cephalopods. Is that how it's pronounced? Oh, so you added that fifth valve. What fifth valve? It's nurturing cuttlefish eggs at the moment. What? Oh, I looked in for his order. I'll keep up with the seafood theme. 1 lobster, no butter, please. Coming right up. Doesn't the butter make the lobster, though? I don't know. The cooks prepare the dishes as usual and hand them off to me. Just like last time, never making eye contact or reacting to anything I say. I don't understand that bit. I really don't. It just feels convenient. I served Talaporia her pasta, and Hendrik his lobster. Spaghetti might not seem like a fancy food, but these noodles are pitch black. I mean, I think they're cool. She seems pretty neutral about them, which isn't the worst outcome I can imagine. So before I go, is everything to your liking? You've not even asked if they want a drink order. Is the food, powering your true form enough? Silly lever tip. When in my true form, I do not consume human fuel. This human template, what did you call it? Hendrik's caught mid-bite and he covers his mouth to respond. Human sonar. My human sonar, it consumes calories, inhales oxygen, excretes feces, all the same as you yourself, I assume. I never expected to have a restaurant patron ask if I breathe and poop, but here we are. But my true form requires something much more deeply sustaining. Oh, it's gone quiet. She stares me down. She looks at my teeth again. You're not having my teeth. She looks me in the eye. She holds eye contact and waits. You're not having my eyes either. I try not to squirm, but my moxie is inadequate for this situation. She waits. And then laughs. I can breathe again. Delicious. I like dust enough fear. Nothing too overwhelming. Okay. If that doesn't strike her as much fear, please let me never ever learn what does. So you eat fear then. It falls under my purview. Suffering. Sweetie's true form eats concepts. So you just like to consume energy as such. And she builds her human soners to have quite the taste for them. True. Any form of important emotion could sustain her, but she's picky. I am not. Suffering is the only thing worth eating. Eating anything else would be beneath me. It's okay, whatever you eat. I love you just the way you are. You're freaking weird. And I'd like you much better with several more stab wounds to the head. She does not like him. Anytime, sweetie. Though I managed to sneak away for the next 15 minutes, I know that I'll eventually have to return. I tried to strike up a conversation with the line cooks again. So how do you guys feel about the recent tentacle invasion? Of course, nobody responds. Yeah, it's hard to really put it into words, huh? No response. Dishes click. I guess the spooky atmosphere has a certain charm, but I don't think it'll catch on with the baby boomers. Maybe not. Conventional wisdom says that they like elegance or rustic charm, and minced Western mums are not into dripping fluids. I mean, as a general group. I don't want to assume individual tastes. This gets boring quickly, so after the appropriate waiting period, I head back over. So thank you for dining with us tonight. You're not going to offer them dessert? I have had that before, where they want you to get out and they don't offer you dessert. And I don't understand when you could potentially earn more money for the company you're working for by not offering someone the dessert menu, because they might even just have a coffee or something. I did it. I made it through the evening. I'm tempted to not even give them a check, to just rush them right out the door. I mean, you didn't offer them any drinks. You haven't offered them any desserts. What happened to the entrees? You just kind of forgot all about the entrees. What kind of waiter are you? You don't deserve any kind of tip, mate. But I refuse to slip up now. It's been a delight getting to know the both of you. How kind of you. You know I was planning on heading out, but you know what? I couldn't care less if I attempted, and I am very powerful. I am capable of caring far less than most humans could in their most apathetic dreams. Let's do dessert. He does want dessert. But me as the waiter have told you to pee off. ... Oh, okay. I look from his smiling face to Teleporia's cool. I know how this goes. Let's make a recommendation. I recommend our chocolate torte for the delightful couple. Do you feel like drinking? I sure do. After dinner brandy? Eff it. Cautions are in. Bananas Foster flambe. I mean, we've not in theory offered them a drink, but I can't imagine brandy's going to quench the thirst. Banana's nice. I've never had a banana flambe though. No idea what a bananas Foster flambe is. I know what a chocolate torte is though. They can get a bit sickly. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. If it hollers, let it go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, chocolate torte! Must remain professional. Everyone loves chocolate. Go with the safe option. Don't screw around when you're so close to the end of this. So close. Bring it on, Mr. Leave a Tip. The torts do better after a few hours setting up in the cooler, so they aren't made to order. I grab a couple and some spoons and return. Teleporia doesn't seem to be a fan, but at least she doesn't make a scene. Hendrik asks for the check and I rush off and get it ready in record time. He takes the check. He seems to do a bit of calculation in his head, then lays down some cash. Well, this evening was a complete waste of time and effort. Organ ravioli. Hendrik looks up at her. He may have one short, friendly embrace. He jumps to his feet, arms wide open to hug her. And one of her tentacles slams into him, throwing his body across the room. It slams into the wall and ragdolls to the ground. Look how happy she is. She looks like she's got love hearts in her eyes. Hug transaction complete. Oh no, did you just kill him? She heaves a sigh. Would I were so lucky. No, human, I've merely rendered him unconscious. That's good. Via severe cranial hemorrhaging. That's bad. He will sleep it off. I've ripped off his limbs before. He can take it. What is he? He looks almost fond. Sorry, she looks almost fond. She gets up, walks over to him, and grabs him by the foot. I suppose it is time to return him to his residence. She perks up. Or I can abandon his body in the trash unit. Perhaps nobody will find him and he will be placed inside a trash compactor. As she turns to drag him away, I ask, Miss Teleporia? She turns, quizzical. Human, I am departing. You've made it through this evening unscathed. You have little to no ability to comprehend how fortunate that makes you, but I suggest you make an attempt. I clear my throat. I think I'm trapped. I gesture around at the restaurant. Oh yes. I had forgotten. Your world usually has even more light, does it not? She shrugs. Well, I had no hand in this. And with that, she waves aside a tentacle and marches through the front door. Hendrik's head thuds against the ground as she walks down the staircase and out of sight. When they hear the front door close... Ooh. Okay. It's very bright and cheerful now. Another serve bumps me in the shoulder, stepping past. They give me a dirty look and keep heading their way. Just like that, I'm back. So were they just sort of like almost zombified? I get moving, clearing the table, scooping up the check. I check the tip. 40%, it might not cover emotional distress, but it'll cap off the shift well. It's because our names leave a tip. This was quite the experience, but for my own safety, I think I'm going to skip the 2 weeks notice. I came here to learn something new, and I'd say that goal was more than accomplished. Yeah, I think so too. You sure you still want to run your own business? Ending 4, a hug goodbye. How freaking lovely. Okay guys, so that was May I Take Your Order. It was a funny visual novel with some lovely dark undertones which really added to the enjoyable experience. It was definitely different and I knew it was going to be weird, but I really was not expecting the whole summoning a demon for dinner kind of thing. Then you had the artwork which was really visibly pleasing, coupled with the cartoony characters which really made them pop. Overall, it's definitely one of my favourite visual novels I've played to date, and I actually believe there are 5 endings in total. So if you enjoyed it as much as I did and would like to see more, then please let me know in the comments below. So that is it for today guys, but if you enjoyed the video then please let me know by hitting that like button, and if you'd like to see more then don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Otherwise I'll see you next time.